All right, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving break. I know I did. We've got a couple of firsts in this episode as we're starting the new week after break. Karime Diaz, who was a student athlete. So she's our first student athlete that we've had on the show. And she also is the first person or student that did just an internship. So she didn't take any classes, which is pretty neat. So she secured an internship in Barcelona, Spain for 8 weeks, and she talks about her experience. And it's a really good interview. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Enjoy.
The three biggest reasons only 10% of students study abroad: they're afraid of being homesick, they don't think it's safe, and the number one reason people don't study abroad is cost. We're here to dispel all that, find out exactly how that 10% crafted their study abroad journey and how you can too. I'm Chris Carlton, and this is the Study Abroadcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Study Abroadcast. I am here with Karime Diaz from Kane University, and Karime is thank you very much for being here. How are you doing tonight, Karime?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be a part of this podcast.
All right, awesome. And Karime actually is our first person who interned abroad. So you guys probably, you go to the websites and you see that there's options to intern abroad, and you can study abroad and you can volunteer abroad. Well, she's our first intern, so she's going to talk to us a little bit about that. And then she also works with CEA right now, which is a third-party study abroad consultant. They're one of the best ones. So Karime, thank you very much again for being here. And why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your decision to study. You did Barcelona, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your decision, why did you pick Barcelona, and kind of setting up your internship and basically everything pre-departure? So you decided to go to Barcelona. Mm-hmm. Did you go for a semester?
I actually was there for the summer, so it was an 8-week program.
So the summer's the most popular. Yeah, the summer's the most popular time to go. So why did you choose the summer over a different semester? All that, like, just basically everything leading up to your departure to Barcelona.
Yeah, sure. So actually, my first decision wasn't Barcelona. I was really interested in trying to find internships in Madrid, because that really was the city that I really wanted to start my, experience in. But unfortunately, at the time, CEA, the provider I used, they didn't offer any internships in Madrid. So they told me about Barcelona. And funny story, I grew up with Disney and everything. And I remember the Cheetah Girls movie, the Barcelona movie that they did. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a dream too. I would love to go to a city, that's been in movies and stuff. And she said, yeah, we offer an internship there. And I was like, okay. So I decided to do it in the summer because when I went to Kane University, I was a full-time student athlete. I played women's lacrosse. So it just felt like the right fit, and it really fit into my schedule because I couldn't really do a winter semester or spring, because spring was when I was in season. So it made sense to do it in the summer. So it was an 8-week program. I got there at the end of May, and I stayed there until the end of July, and it was such an amazing experience. And Barcelona ended up being my favorite city, and I'm really happy that I chose Barcelona.
So first of all, I didn't even know they had women's lacrosse, so that's pretty cool. I'm telling you, out east, right? It's lacrosse crazy out there.
Oh, it is. It's the hotbed.
It is, yeah. So that's pretty cool that you played women's lacrosse. Mm-hmm. And then, so you went during the summer, but it sounds like you went for a good chunk of time, 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's long enough. And tell me about then your internship. So you said you went in 2017, and this was after, when did you graduate then? And then tell me about your internship. What were you doing over there?
Sure. So I actually did the summer 2017 internship my junior year going into my senior year. So
okay, perfect.
It was the May of ending of my junior year. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I forgot the other questions.
Oh no, what were you doing?
So the internship they specialize, CEA does a really good job in really analyzing your application, analyzing you as a person, like what your personal goals are, what you're studying in school, and they personalize the internships according to all of those factors. So it was like a 5-step process, I have to say. I first did the application. I worked with the admissions counselor. Then the admissions counselor, she led me into talking to a site specialist who told me more about like the internship, the location, made sure I accomplish all of the things on my to-do tasks, like on my online application, make sure I handed in my passport on time, all those documents. And then after that, she led me into the internship site specialist, and that was the person. Her name is Maria Mutu, and she's amazing. I took her internship seminar. A great woman, very knowledgeable. She's been all over the world. She speaks multiple languages. But more back into the topic. So I got interviewed by Maria, and then she really got to analyze me as a person, what my goals were. And I told her I want to, work for a public relations agency, mostly doing event planning, like working on events and stuff like that. And I told her I was really, my goal that summer was to improve my Spanish skills, enhance my creativity, and, just learn as much as I can. And I must say, like, she did an excellent job, like, placing me in a company that I'm so fortunate to have worked for. I worked for a public relations agency called The Connector. And the cool thing is, it's only owned by 2 people. They run the whole company. And that's, like, what surprised me the most is that there you have the difference between like the US and like Barcelona is that there's like a lot of startups, and the sizes of the companies compared to like what we're used to in the US is very different. So these 2 guys, like they ran everything about the company. They hosted the events, they did the production, the planning of the events. And these events were like really high scale. Like we did it for clients, like for Grey Goose, and they would set up these amazing like events like on the beach, and it was their like very fortunate experience to have.
And how's your Spanish now?
I must say that my Spanish has really improved a lot, and my confidence in speaking, it's just like when you're in that environment, it's like you're forced to speak, because over there I noticed that not a lot of people like speak English, and if they do, it's not that great. So I was really forced to like speak the language, and just be aware of my grammar. And I must say, like, it improves tremendously.
Nice. Okay, and then perfect. So this is really good. So I got to ask, as you're the first student who was still a student and actually just went just for the internship, I've had students on who did classes and an internship. So now, how many did you get credits for this? Right?
Oh, you brought up a good point. There's like 2 different types of programs when you're applying. Like you can have the decision to do just the internship plus the mandatory seminar, or you have the option to apply for the internship, seminar, and like a class to gain like credit. So like you could take a class in like Spanish or something just to like fill in like extra credits that you didn't really have time to or didn't know what to in your home university. And it was like, that was good.
So how many credits did you get?
So it's just 3 credits. I just got 3 credits for the internship, and it was actually at Kane, it was a requirement for me to at least accomplish 1 internship before I graduated. So I took that opportunity, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to just do a regular like domestic like internship. I want to go somewhere different. I want to challenge myself. I want to be immersed in a different culture. And I thought, okay, Spain is perfect because I am familiar with the language, very familiar with the culture because I took Spanish classes all throughout high school and watching movies and media about it. I was like, it's the perfect fit. So yeah, I just ended up getting 3 credits, but those credits luckily transferred, and I got credit for it, and I graduated with an internship. So, yeah, it really depends on the university, though, and the way they organize their academics and stuff, because I don't think all universities accept the credits.
Right. No. Yeah, that's a tricky situation, and it's actually a reason why a lot of students don't study abroad. But so you know how I said you were the first student to do just an internship abroad? You're also the first student athlete I've had, and I've read a lot about that. And there's this kind of this whole fallacy that you can't study abroad if you're a student athlete, and
the misconceptions, yeah,
and you obviously can. Now, were you able to, I don't know, like about funding or scholarships and grants, were you able to apply for any scholarships or grants to do this?
At the time, because it was the summer, like the way it's set up, I didn't really have the opportunity to like really use financial aid. That's mostly for like people that are doing like a whole semester. But CEA does offer scholarships or payment plans depending on your situation. But I was fortunate enough to be able to pay the whole fee up front, so. But they do have a lot of options, and they do work with your financial aid office.
Okay, good.
If you need to, yeah.
So, yeah, that's good to know.
And the perk about their payment plan with CEA, it's interest-free. So, like, you can pay, like, slowly and whatever amount you can. You know, CEA is really willing to make anyone have such an amazing experience and give equal opportunity to everyone. That's what I noticed with the study abroad provider. That's why I did it with them.
Great. And now tell me about your living arrangement when you were over there. Who did you live with, or where did you live?
So, oh my God, like this company, they were so organized from the beginning. So they make you take like this housing preference application, and then you answer some questions, and then you tell them, oh, I prefer an apartment and whatever. So after that, they got the application back and they got my results. They set me up with 3 other girls, and they were also interns. And we lived in an apartment right in the center of a neighborhood that was called Tetuan, and it was so beautiful. Like, they did such an excellent job finding this apartment, finding the roommates. We got along perfectly fine, you know. And yeah, and it was cool that it was like with other interns. So we were on the same boat. We all have not been to Spain before, never done an internship internationally, like didn't really speak Spanish that well, but you know, it was cool to meet them and to have that, to live like a local. That's what I really enjoyed with these apartments, you know, because you overlook the city, you know, you see the people doing their everyday things, you know, and you just feel like you live there all your life. So I'm really happy I did the apartment choice with the other girls. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, you did the apartment choice with the other girls, and you also got choices, right?
Yeah, they give you... That's why they have that application where you say, oh, I'd rather have a homestay, or... So they really take that into consideration when finding housing for the students.
Right. Okay. And no, that's perfect actually. So it's so funny. I'm still waiting to find someone, and I probably won't because they probably wouldn't agree to be on the show. But I'm still waiting to find someone who tells me about how studying abroad was the worst and I'd never do it again. Like I don't know. So I'm involved in it, and I don't know if you know the numbers, but only 10% of students study abroad. And I know you interned abroad, but I'm still counting. It was, like, you still did the whole thing.
The process.
And everyone says like it's rave reviews, and I just don't know why only 10% of students do it. I'm still like fascinated why, and I'm trying to figure that out. I know there's the cost and all that, but it's still, like I've said in countless interviews before this, and I'm going to keep on saying it, I think it's more expensive for students not to study abroad than it is for them to study abroad in the long run. So that being said, Karime, tell me what living in a different not only a different country, but a different side of the world. How did that change your view of the world?
Wow, that's a great question.
Because it
So when
did,
I
right?
It did, it
Yeah.
really did. Like it was my first time being in Europe and my first time traveling solo, so I just had all those like fears, that, anticipation and anxiety. But the way that this experience changed me is it's made me more patient with people, and more considerate of other people and their backgrounds and cultures, because this experience has made me more culturally aware and made me realize that it's not just the United States. Like there's so many countries out there, so many different peoples with different stories and backgrounds, and I'm really happy that I did the internship abroad, and it just gave me a better perspective of the world and more considerate of people. So I'm really happy I did it.
Okay, good. And what would you tell it like I know you graduated and
hmm
but let's say you had a little sister or brother or cousin who was still in
hmm
college and they were thinking about studying abroad and they weren't really sure about
hmm
whether or not they should do that. What would you tell them, someone who's in that situation, if they're not really sure about doing it? What would be your advice?
Well, I would tell them that, this is a big step in your, your school career or professional career if you're doing an internship. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have like those culture shocks, those, down moments, homesickness. But I would tell them that it's just so rewarding. And you get the opportunity to see a different side of the world and to be studying abroad and bringing that back to your home country, and to be able to say, oh, I went here, I went this, I saw that. That's valuable. I feel people need to invest more on experiences than more than like material things, and I feel like if you invest in those experiences, it'll just make you a better person, and just like me, just more patient and understanding of the whole world.
Good.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And now, kind of moving a little or over to you,
hmm
can you tell me maybe a good travel story? Like something you'd tell at a dinner party or something that really stuck out to you during your time in Barcelona?
Like, can it be funny or just like
It
anything that really like
Karime,
stuck out?
it can be hilarious. Yes, it can be funny.
Okay. Well, I really realized like living in Barcelona for like 2 months and this past summer, like they just really have such a lively nightlife, and it's just amazing to see that every night. Like there's always something going on, and there's this specific festival that's called San Juan, and it happens on June 25th every year in Barcelona, and it's to celebrate like the summer solstice and everything. So what I find funny is that like all the people on the metro, like it's all jam packed with people, like all lively and jolly and drunk and just enjoying life, and that's just to see that. And oh my god, the beach is like covered in people. The Barceloneta beach, it's like the whole beach is taken over by people. You don't even see the sand anymore, and it's like that's just amazing to see like people come together to celebrate life, to celebrate music and each other, and that's what I love about traveling, and that moment just really impacted me.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good story.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and what let's see here. Did you get to go anywhere else during your? I know it was 8 weeks, but did you get to go anywhere else in Spain or even Europe while you were there?
Yes, I did. Like the way that the schedule for the interns was organized is that we worked only like Monday through Thursday. And if there was an event going on, we would have to work the weekends, but mostly we had all the weekends free. So a lot of kids would go to like Paris, France, and I actually had the opportunity to go to Rome for a weekend, and
Really?
yeah, it was so amazing. And I booked it all by myself. Like it was on a whim. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like so scared, but like it ended up being such like an amazing experience, and I got to see such beautiful artwork and just be in that romantic environment, and oh my gosh, like it was the best like trip I ever taken. And I did a lot in only 3 days. Like you'd be surprised, just having like 3 days, it really does like force you to like see a lot. And I ended up seeing like the cathedral, the oh, what is it called? The Colosseum, the Pantheon, that big dome thing, the temple, and it was just amazing. I got to do a lot, so yeah, very
And
memorable experience.
so, so you went to Rome. You lived in Spain.
hmm
Tell me about the food there. Is there a certain dish or anything that you wish you could get that that you could get over there that you can't get here that you really miss?
Let me think about it. I think the way that they cook their paella over there, I don't know if you're familiar with it. The paella, it's
Oh,
that
I'm
rice
familiar.
dish. It's just so much. They just cook it so much better, and I miss it so much. Like it's just the way they cook it. It's so different than what you can get here in the U.S. And I that's like one dish I really really miss. It's so good. Yeah, I would like
No.
any
Okay.
opportunity. Any opportunity I saw like a paella restaurant, I was like, okay, guys, let's stop here. I want to eat some paella. So,
Right. No. It's funny. I've interviewed a few people that have done Spain now, and paella is kind of like one of the things that always comes up, but no one's like ever straight up like recommended the paella. But that's definitely what's it's like paella. Guys, if you guys don't know, pizza paella is like the pizza of Spain. Basically, it's
yes,
they're
it
really
is.
well known for it, and it's really
And their
good.
tapas, the tapas. There's a lot of cute
And
like
that,
tapa
yeah, okay,
bars.
so we can keep going. Yeah, the tapas,
Yeah,
yeah.
the tapas are so cute, and it's like nice to be in that environment in the tapas bars because the tapas really bring people together, and like you get to like meet people and have conversations, and
Yeah, like what it does socially for people. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
it's something social. And I did a lot of like tapas events, like as an on-site ambassador. I got to bring the kids like to the cooking tapas workshops, and it was like cool. I got to learn more about like the background of tapas, the history, and it's really very important to the culture of Spain. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, and are there any recommendations you'd give as far as maybe a book that you've read that has changed your view of the world, or maybe apps, blogs, or maybe a website that really helped you while you were studying abroad? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's actually one book I really remember from like growing up. It's this young adult novel called 13 Little Blue Envelopes,
Okay, go ahead.
and it's about this girl, her aunt who passes away. She leaves this girl, I forget her name. I haven't read this book in so long, but she leaves 13 envelopes for her niece, and each envelope is like instructions of, oh, you need to travel here. And then this girl in the novel, she ends up like in Rome, like meeting strangers, and I was like, wow, like it really piqued my interest and curiosity for like travel and like solo travel and like all these things that could happen and the experiences you can gain. So that really impacted my interest like when I was like a preteen to teenager. And then just like on Facebook, I follow like a lot of travel pages, and then on my news feed a lot of like travel videos pop up of like, oh, 13 places to travel to before you die, and like it's all these like beautiful photos and videos of people traveling to like Lake Tahoe, California, to like Fiji, like all across the world.
Ah,
So yeah.
yeah,
and
definitely.
and there's this one Instagram person I follow. It's called at Find Us Lost. It's this married couple that travel all around the world, and they like post pictures on Instagram about their adventures, and they've been to like Amsterdam, Dominican Republic, and their photos like just make me want to like book a flight to all these places. So yeah, that's basically it. Just
No, good.
travel is always around me.
Travel is always doing. And tell me about what are you doing for CEA now? Do you work for them, or you work with them, or what do you do?
So I'm just like a volunteer alumni ambassador, and I actually hold the title of senior alumni ambassador. So I'm the team leader for like 8 to 10 students, and we meet like every 2 weeks on Skype to talk about our team progress, like what unique creative ideas we're coming up with to promote CEA and help market for them, like if we're doing like a study abroad fair. So it's basically a volunteer position, but you gain so many professional experiences and like skills that can really translate to any, job position or career path. So that's why I stick around with them. And they're a great company.
Nice. No. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, as evidenced in your interview, like we've heard. So I'll definitely put them in the show notes. Is there a favorite quote that you have that you want to share with the audience of people listening all around the world? No pressure.
Sure. This is one of my favorite quotes from my favorite movies, A Cinderella Story with Lizzie McGuire. Not Lizzie McGuire, Hilary Duff, but like I remember her from
is that her name in the movie or something?
In Hilary Duff played Lizzie McGuire in like the Disney show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in this movie, the quote that I picked was, "Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game." And how that interprets in my life is that, you just can't be afraid to like take risks or to create challenges for yourself, because you'd be surprised like what you gain and what you learn about yourself, about other people, about a certain topic in the world. And it's just like take risks and, challenge yourself, and you'd be surprised where life takes you. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Well put. Definitely, I completely agree with you. And Hilary Duff or Lizzie McGuire or Cinderella or whatever, whatever her name is. And then that is I think all I have. Is there anything else you want to add?
I just want to add that, like, to all the kids out there, all the students, anyone in general, like travel, because it's just an amazing experience, and if you have the opportunity, take it. Travel, do study abroad, do an internship, or just learn about a new language. Just keep learning and enhance your curiosity for the world around you.
I'm gonna put that so I quote everyone from the episodes.
Okay.
No, seriously, and that's probably the best. Like, I usually have to go back, and when I edit it, I'll figure out something to put. But I'm gonna remember that one. Enhance your curiosity for the world. That's pretty it's pretty deep, Karime.
Thank you.
Enhance your curiosity for the world. And that is all I have. And thank you. That was a good way to finish or to end, guys. We'll put a link to CEA, and if Karime, do you have like a blog or anything like that, or?
I have a link to the website I can share with you.
Okay, so we'll put that in the show notes. And thank you very much for doing this, guys. CEA Spain. If you're an athlete, if you're looking to intern, this interview is definitely for you, obviously. Give us an honest review of the show. Let us know how we're doing. You know the drill. Social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. I post new episodes. And yeah, that's about it. Karime, thank you very much for being here, and we'll talk to you again soon.
No problem. Yeah, take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out all the really neat infographics on the rest of the posts as well as the interviews. There's a lot of good information. You should also download Studying Abroad 201. I really recommend it if you need kind of a fire lit under your ass for studying abroad and you need some motivation. It crafts my journey and exactly what I did. Also, we can email you new interviews, or you can connect with us on social media. All right, thanks a lot.